Hi, here we are. I'm Dr. Dara, Truth with Dr. Dara. We are on Facebook Live and Instagram Live, and I am cracking myself up because here we are talking about self-confidence versus self-competence. And yeah, I have to tell you, oh, here's Denzel. Denzel, say hello. There you are, buddy. He just wants to give kisses. So, we're talking about self-confidence and self-confidence. It's a tongue twister. Let's see how many times I can get that straight tonight. Oh, Denzel, how do you feel about it? I think he's concerned of his competency and his confidence. And truthfully, every time I enter onto technology, I am very concerned about my self-confidence and my competency. I mean, even when I was going to set it up right now, I somehow locked it into place and I couldn't get it. So forget about feeling competent when it comes to social media. Every time I start these Facebook and Instagram lives, I feel completely inadequate and incompetent, and then I get going and it all works out fine. But every time something gets me, and so the question is, does self-confidence affect your competency, and is competency about your confidence? And is this a whippet? No, this is an Italian Greyhound. Oh, your friend Debbie just came on, Denzel. Say hi. This is Denzel, my Italian Greyhound. I have 2 Italian Greyhounds and 1 big Greyhound. The Greyhound is sleeping now, although he has been following me around all night. So I see a lot of you are just jumping on, Kirsten, Amy, Debbie, and I see more of you on Instagram, Cliff and Jacqueline, you're on. So hello everybody. Self-confidence versus self-competency. I posted it in Truth with Dr. Dara this week, and I got some really great answers and discussion because everybody feels a different way about it. And oh, Debbie, you said you love Denzel. I know, he just left. I guess he had enough of me. I made him feel, didn't feel confident and he had to leave. I don't know what's going on. So people commented left and right about feeling confident, feeling competent, and I'm gonna offer you a way that I think about things. It doesn't mean it's right, it just means how I think of it, and I'm really open to your feedback and thoughts about how self-confidence and self-competency affects and plays out in your life. So I'm gonna start this by saying, or asking you, would you want to have a surgeon do surgery on you? Would you want him to be competent, or would you want her to be confident? So what comes to mind for me is I would want a competent surgeon. I would want somebody who has the skills and the ability to get it done. I wouldn't want a confident surgeon. I wouldn't want somebody just acting as if they have the skills to take care of a big, gigantic tumor in my body. I don't have any tumors in my body, but I'm just saying, even if they were removing a toenail, I want a competent doctor to do that and get that done for me. And a lot of times people say, I want confidence. I work with a lot of athletes and they'll talk about this all the time. Even coaches, they'll say, well, if you only had more confidence, then I would be fine. And I'm thinking, well, that's where the conflict is, because if you're just acting as if you have got it together and acting as if you have the skills to get it done, then there's an incongruency and you're not going to get the results that you're looking to get. But if you are able to identify your competencies, your skills, your attributes, your strengths, then you can get it done. I can't think of anybody in any field that I would not want them to be competent. I mean, even those of you that know me, well, Debbie says she loves her some Denzel and Dara, so thank you, Debbie. But you would want to have somebody speaking to you right now with competency, not confidence. Confidence would be me acting externally okay and able to deliver you messages, or in sessions with healing. You would want a psychologist that is competent, not confident, just acting like they can do it. So I want to delineate right now those for me, because a lot of people spoke about having confidence, and I get that the part of confidence is feeling a certain way. And I know that people would say, oh, well, if I don't have the confidence, then I can't act out my competency. Kristen says, Surgeon, teacher, psychologist, competency for sure, right? No matter what you do, you want to have competency in your abilities. Even as a mom, I want to be competent, and that's definitely an area sometimes that's controversial for me, because I think I'm competent in the skills and my children show me another way, and it makes me wonder. But they don't need me to act confident, they need me to be competent. And I think about that too, because having young children, we want them to walk tall, and my daughter's been talking to me about this idea of not feeling like the other kids in class like her, or she's feeling left out. And when that's going on, what is it that I want her to learn? Do I want her to hone in and really be able to identify her skills and her strengths, or do I want her to act confident? I'm thinking that her acting confident is not going to get that connection that she wants. In fact, it's going to create a disconnection, because then the other kids may not think that she's sincere or authentic in that. I got an email this week, and it was talking about self-confidence, and she said that she often feels intimidated by other people that have authority, and she even cries when she feels in certain situations, and she wants to feel more confident. And I had emailed back and forth with her because I didn't know if she'd be able to be on the live, and I said to her, well, if you're acting as if you're confident, how would that affect you as far as your competency in your ability? Because one of the things that came up for me when she was talking about crying when she doesn't feel confident is often we have these ideas around vulnerability, and that in order to be confident or to express our competency, we can't show a soft or a vulnerable side of ourselves. And I think it's just the opposite. I have a lot of people come into session talking about that. Kristen says, a surgeon may have zero confidence in other areas of his or her life. I would want 100% competency operating in the operating room. Yeah, exactly, Kristen. But I have to say, if you are experiencing competency in one area of your life, it is about integrity too. It carries over on others. I know people might say, oh, but I'm really strong in this aspect of my life and not so strong in others. But I do think that it carries over. And in session, as most of you know, I practice rapid resolution therapy when I'm working with clients, and I love it because it creates that mind shift for them in a short amount of time. Because even in the whole idea of traditional therapy, it makes me wonder what kind of message we're relaying about confidence and competency, because you're saying to somebody, hey, you're going to need to see me for a long period of time, and you need to come every single week. And that message right there leaves people often feeling broken, or that there's something innately wrong with them. And how does that affect their feelings of confidence or even competency? And so I think it's a different message when I get to hang out with people that we're gonna get this done in a couple sessions, and this is fixable. And they do leave with a complete different sense of competency and therefore confidence when they're walking out my office. And one of the things that I see when people say, well, I'd like to have more confidence in different areas, something comes up. I know this morning, it was around 11:30, so it was that morning or afternoon, I was with somebody, and he spoke about, he brought up Brene Brown and about vulnerability, and he's transitioning into a different capacity of his life. He's retiring, and he has grandchildren and family, and him and his wife are traveling and doing all these amazing things, and he said that he feels so vulnerable. And he said he felt such confidence when he was working as a businessman, and he doesn't feel like himself, and he's just questioning what his life should look like, or what he should be acting like or being like. And what became very apparent is he said to me, oh, well, I'd like to feel more vulnerable. But what he described to me was having so much connection in his life. He said that he felt like he was guarded, but yet he had a lot of long-term friends, and he is close with his family. And he described having 3 beautiful daughters and having having grandchildren, and when he spoke about it, he lit up, and he'd also expressed wanting to feel joy because he had this idea that joy looked differently. It looked how other people were experiencing it, like they'd see a sunrise and they'd be like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. But when this guy lit up, when I brought up about his kids, he completely lit up, and it was so obvious that he was all about experiencing joy. And he was describing at first that he didn't experience vulnerability, and he was so concerned about feeling confident in his new lifestyle. And so what we connected on, and what really shifted for him from a different perspective, is that he has connection and vulnerability, and he's not incapable of showing and expressing his feelings. He's selective. But is it that he's selective, or is it just that it happens for him innately, and when he feels a sense of connection, it happens? And that's what is a big component of self-confidence. Often we're trying to make it happen, and I don't know about you, but you could stand in the mirror, and yes, if you keep repeating a million times, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, it's gonna pick up your mood, but it might still feel superficial. But at first you're identifying your areas of competency and the things that you feel that are strength and attribute, then it's gonna pick you up automatically. And then you're gonna be able to deliver a sense of confidence. And also, if you're just focusing on, I gotta be confident, I gotta be confident, you can't just like flip a switch in your mind. And the more that you're telling yourself to do something, it doesn't just happen. It happens through, it happens through the things that you're doing and sensing what works for you. I see some others jumping on. Oh, Donna, great to have you on. Amazing input. If I don't call your name, it's just because of my technological incompetency of being able to scroll through and see it or even answer a question. Jen, I see that you're on. And awesome, a few more jumped on. So if you have any questions, please put it down below. Donna, thanks for commenting. If you guys have any thoughts around competency versus competence, I have Facebook up here and Instagram down here, and I got on right away and I spoke of my incompetency of being able to work technology. Even when I started, I couldn't get it rotated right. But the idea around it is if I'm experiencing incompetency in that moment, it completely shoots down your confidence. So yeah, sometimes people will say you have to fake it to make it, so you go through the motions. But if you're really identifying what it does work for you, then that's going to expand. And if you're just focusing on the areas that you're not competent in, it's going to create more incompetency. Lou, I see that you're on. What's up, Doc? That sounds cool. Great to have you on, Coach Lou. Coach Lou works with tennis players, and I know that this is a situation that comes up all the time with athletes needing to be more confident, and it's really about us getting them identifying their skills and feeling more confident. And I think that the ideas around confidence get ingrained in us, in our culture, in our society. We talk about it all the time. Well, you're not going to be successful unless you're confident. Well, I'm going to hold up a sign that says you're not going to be successful unless you're competent. And that goes a long way, because people are trying to make themselves be confident, and you can't make yourself do it any more than you can form a scab. You have to believe it to achieve it. Exactly, Coach Lou. But can you guys make yourself form a scab? I mean, seriously, think about it. Can you think in your head how you can form a scab? No, and you can't make yourself not form a scab. It's something that innately happens. Jen says, I feel like as a teacher I had the competence but lacked the confidence, and it totally beat me down. I can understand that, Jen, but if the competency is the skill part, the confidence, tell me what you would mean by that confidence. What would the confidence be? The ability to carry it out? Because you in a teaching role, I've seen you in action with kids, my own kids. It comes through in another way. Maybe sometimes it's the perception that we're thinking the confidence has to look like, because who says you're not confident? Are you basing it on how you're feeling about it? I mean, I'm not saying how you're feeling about it is wrong, but often our perceptions are so skewed of thinking that confidence means that we can do it perfectly, or confidence is the idea that you have to look a certain way or carry yourself a certain way. I put great thought into wearing this beat up sweatshirt. This is one of my favorite sweatshirts. I love it. It's so comfortable. It has holes. I have to tell you, I made the holes. It adds to the effect. It says, what does it say on it? It says, more, and it has a peace sign on it, and then on the other sleeve it says peace as well, so more peace. And I was thinking about it when I was getting dressed, because so often in the time, even when we talk about faking it to make it, it's like these people think that you have to act a certain way. And I've seen some of the most beautiful people wearing sweatpants, and the thinking about women in our culture. You know, this month is National Women's Month, and I really dedicated the topics around, I mean, they all apply to men, but to really celebrate and ignite and fuel up women and talk about our strengths. And when I was thinking about a beautiful woman, there's this poem I love, and I believe her name is Patricia Riley, and it's Imagine a Woman, and maybe some of you I've shared it with that are on the call. And it talks about this woman who's in love with her body, and she's in love with the ebbs and the flow and the cycles and moving through life and with the stories that we have, and not about the vanity. And I would be happy to share this poem with anybody if you would like. And in the poem, I would ask people, well, what does this woman look like? And it never ceased to amaze me, the responses that I would get, because almost all the time people would describe Oprah Winfrey or Mother Teresa. I've gotten, let me think, Michelle Obama, just significant women of our times, but none of them were the type that you would think. Like, on one hand, we describe beauty and confidence as looking like a Barbie doll. Are you guys with me on that? Like this idea that looking a certain way is what's confident, or acting a certain way is confident. And then in a whole other capacity, here are people describing this woman in this poem depicted as being self-assured and competent and confident and carrying herself with grace and beauty. And nobody is describing the Barbie doll on the front of Shape magazine. They are describing distinguished, intelligent, accomplished women that have had such great impacts on our culture, our society, as women, as men, as of our children. And so that's why I bring up my sweatshirt, because I see these beautiful people, and it's not about what they're wearing, it's about how they carry themselves. And people talk to me about confidence and how they carry themselves. Well, it's also a practice. Last week we talked about our relationship with food, and I joked so many times about you are what you eat. And that's the whole idea and the premise of even your competency and your confidence, that it starts below at the root. It's about the root of where your brain thinks of things. It's about at the root of your foundation, what you're eating, your sleeping, your relationships. That's going to set the tone for your feelings of competency. And I believe that in our culture and our society these days, we're just basing it on what we think are our successes. We are making a list of categories, and how we see our competency is based on what we think the world is judging it at. And it's the same way that we're basing our sense of confidence. So I ask you guys, I invite you to really think about, what is confidence? What does that confident person look like? How do they walk? How do they talk? And on the same token, the list next to it is, what does that competent person look like? How do they talk? How do they walk? How do other people experience a competent person? How do other people feel when they're in the president's, did I say presidents? That's interesting, because I was thinking about competency and confidence as far as our presidency. I'll come around back to that if I really want to stir things up and start a political debate. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go there. But what do you see in a person, and how would you feel in the president? I said president again. How would you feel in the presence of somebody who expresses and exuberates competence? And how would you feel in the I said presidents again, the presence of somebody who has confidence? Do you feel good about yourself? Because what I know is, when I'm around other people that experience and exuberate and put out confidence, they make me feel good. I feel I feel good about myself. I'm even thinking of that Shania Twain song, right? She says, man, I feel like a woman. Do, 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 do. This is turning into a karaoke Truth with Dr. Dara. I keep adding songs in. But that's how our minds go. You think of a song and you get kind of groovy and you have a good time and it lifts your spirits. And I think that we're basing our confidence too general. We're basing it on this whole idea of everything. Oh, Allison Irving, I see you're on here. It's great to have you. Are you dying right now because of my singing? I probably could kill a couple people with that. My kids appreciate it, but they don't really know about music yet. Or are you laughing because I keep saying president instead of presidents or presence? See, I can't not say president. President, you know what? Let's talk about the president if you want to, but make sure you comment because this is going to be good. But I was thinking about how the idea around a leader and what they possess as far as competency and confidence, and I am gonna put my perspective, but I feel that Trump just puts it out in a sense of confidence instead of competence and acts as if something that is not what's going on. And oftentimes the whole thing with the presidency, see, I can say presence now that I said presidency. I got it out. It was stuck. But the whole idea around even the presence of somebody is about the energy that they're letting out there. And often if people are just focusing on confidence, they're focusing on their external and they're not focusing on internal, because competency comes from within. And if you want to bring out someone else's competency, just as well as bring out somebody's confidence, you want to complement them. So we've got competency, confidence, and complement. But confident is what's going to bring out people's strengths, and other people are going to feel good. And when you give that to other people, you bring out the best in them. And too often we're focusing on what's not working right and what isn't good, hence the presidency, the presence of the presidency, even the statements and the way he proposes things and offers his suggestions or demands is not that it makes other people around him feel good. So I'm gonna try to leave my presidential ideas there. Let's see how successful I can do with that. But think about a leader. What does a leader possess? And so again, I'm just gonna repeat this because I think this is critical. What does somebody who carries competency versus competence carry? How do they make you feel? And what would that look like for you? Because Jen, you wrote about as a teacher, you felt competent, but you didn't feel that you were confident. And again, is it just this idea that confidence means perfection? Does competence mean you're supposed to look a certain way? Because like, I'm really rocking this sweatshirt and I don't think any of you are going, oh, Dara doesn't look so confident tonight in her sweatshirt. Not at all. You weren't even paying attention to that. You're seeing and hearing what I have to say, and you're basing that on my competency. But don't if you're basing your competency on my ability to say presence and presidents. But see, I can say it now that I got it out there. Kirsten says, politics aside, I would love to speak as confidently as he does. Well, that's a good point. But he sees himself as being competent. It's other people who don't see him as being competent. He stands very strong in his conviction. And Kirsten, I can appreciate your perspective and what you're offering to the table about the presence he has. He does have a very strong presence, and it is very dominating. But he truly believes in his conviction. He doesn't think that there's any capacity. I mean, I haven't spoken to him lately, but he doesn't believe that the ideas and the mannerisms and the way that he goes about doing things has any problems. And the truth of the matter is that is critical in having your competency and having confidence, is going for it. You know, nothing happens if nothing happens. If you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same thing. What comes to mind for me is about, you know, this constant desire of trying to do things based for satisfaction. And I realized something not too long ago, and it's an ongoing joke that I have with my mentor and Dr. John Conley, who's trained me with rapid resolution therapy, because I've had some discussions about this with him of feeling, inadequate, or feeling that I lacked competency or confidence. And, you take things personally. I've really been trying to put myself out there. I mean, hello, I'm over here on Facebook Live. And with that, it feels vulnerable. I said the word vulnerable again, and it feels raw, and it feels like I'm putting myself out there. And in order to get competency, or in order to get satisfaction, you're also going to receive dissatisfaction. But I've decided that for somebody to be dissatisfied, or to experience dislike, or to have an opinion about the things that I'm doing, that means that they have to pay attention to what I'm doing. It means that I've planted a seed. Think about it. If somebody dislikes what you're doing, there had to be something that at least created an emotion or an attachment in some capacity. If somebody just likes things you're doing, often they're just appeasing you, right? They're just like giving you thumbs up, or they're just thinking about something, but not from a capacity, like, are they really interested? But I think it's incredible when people disagree about the things that I say, or if somebody doesn't want to get my newsletter anymore, it takes them more effort to disconnect from the newsletter than to actually continue to get it and just delete it. They have put thought into it. So when you're talking about these ideas of confidence versus competency, it's putting out a sense of vulnerability. And there's the idea of, if I'm vulnerable, it's weakness, but vulnerability is connection. And them getting dissatisfaction is ultimately getting satisfaction, because you've got somebody's attention. I think that was the longest Dr. Seuss tongue twang twister that I have ever done. But compared to my presidency and now I can't even remember the other word, right? Let me see. I've got some questions up here. Ooh, Kendra just got on. Stephanie. Oh, nice to see you, Stephanie. So I've got 2 tennis coaches on the line. Jen says, oh my God, I'm so confused. So the compliments on competence were there, but the self-doubt trumps the confidence. Yeah, I think so. But really, I hope I'm not confusing you, Jen. But really, the idea, even if Trump is demonstrating confidence, is because he believes in his competence. He's not really thinking about what other people think of him. He's not caring what other people are thinking of him. His intention is very clear, and he does have a focus. I am actually defending Trump. Thanks, Kirsten. But he is clear on what he wants to get done and what he wants to get across. And he's not thinking about how other people might be thinking of him. And that's clearly why he's gotten where he's gotten. And it is attractive. It is attractive, or other people wouldn't be believing in what he's saying. I mean, I am not the person to discuss this, but let's think about it. People voted for him. He's our president, which means there are more people that believed or in his confidence, or really in his competency, than didn't believe in his competency. I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but clearly more people voted for him, or he wouldn't be in office. So yeah, he believes in his conviction about what he's doing. And like Coach Lou said earlier, if to believe in it is, you've got to believe it to do it. So, and if anybody's going to believe in you, it has to be you at the end of the day, because if you want somebody else to believe in you, they're not going to unless you believe in you first. So, when there's this idea around confidence and competence, I don't know. It's a gushy one. It's pretty spicy. And now we've invited Trump in. I wonder if he's going to tweet about this tomorrow. If anybody sees a tweet from Trump about me talking about self-confidence and self-confidence, you've got to let me know. It's definitely got to be a retweet. So let me know right now. I see some more of you. Shayna just jumped on, and if you guys are just getting on now, you're welcome to watch the replay, and you can always post more comments in it then. Jacqueline did the coolest thing last week. She did a party, so you can post it so that all your people can see it at the same time. I haven't figured out exactly how that works. Kirsten, what are you, sorry that you got me fired up about Trump? I think it's great. I want to see if he tweets me. See, is that confidence or is that competency that I am now having this grandiose idea about Trump tweeting me because I am speaking on Facebook Live? So, hey Trump, it's Truth with Dr. Dara. Maybe you want to come on next week and discuss this with us. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh, I don't even know what I would do with myself. But so we've got this idea of confidence versus competency, and oh yeah, Jacqueline did a watch party, which is way cool. So she invited her friends to watch it at the same time as we are. I still don't know how to make that work, but way to demonstrate your competency in technology, Jacqueline. Coach Lou says, confidence is a journey that only when we've experienced difficulties and failures and figured out how to overcome by being courageous. We were meant to be courageous. Oh, Lou, that's so cool, Coach Lou. Those are very nice and kind words, and I know that you're speaking from experience and wisdom, and that's just awesome. So I feel like the message is that confidence is a journey, and you keep going and you keep turning over the rock, and no matter what, you just keep going at it, because even our competencies change. You gain more attributes and strengths all the time. Debbie once says that she'd pay to see that. To have Trump on here? Come on. Of course you would. And, oh, you'd fly back to Florida to come see Trump. Allie, you could see him everywhere, but you could definitely come back down. And Denise just got on, and Rodrigo. So those of you who are getting on late, we talked about confidence versus competency. And I challenged President Trump to come hang out with me and talk about Truth with Dr. Dara about confidence and competency, because I did discuss him and the idea whether he demonstrates confidence and competency. So I went all political. We talked about it, and at the end of the day, it's about finding our attributes. It's about paying attributes and giving compliments to other people, because how we make other people feel is what we're going to get back, right back at us, and that feels good. So thank you guys that joined tonight. I'm really excited. And oh, Rodrigo says, yes, he's confident. And I said, Rodrigo, he believes in his confidence, and there's no question about it. And wait, he will talk, but trash. Tony, more people are jumping in. See, I think I should just put hashtag Trump, and I'll see who gets on my lives more and more all the time. Next week, we're going to talk about superwomen, super women powers. So wear your capes, that's my cape, and get ready. That's what we're going to talk about, continuing the strengths of a woman. And I challenge each one of you on the call to really, once again, I've said it twice, so if I say it 3 times, you know it's important. I want you to get this idea in your head of what competency and confidence looks like, and the vision. Even if it's not where you see yourself at, how do you see somebody else in that position? How do you see yourself acting as if that person who is strong and powerful? Keep on rocking, says Coach Lou. Yay, thank you. And so as you're talking about your superpowers, I'm going to challenge you this week too to think about that and your superwoman powers. And those of you who are supermen and you know superwomen, it's on with superpowers next week. Send in your questions and any comments that you have. Like I said, you can watch it again. You can post your comments there. And I don't know, that's all I've got for right now. I'm going to look forward to talking with you guys soon. Join Truth with Dr. Dara in the Facebook group if you haven't already. There was some good, juicy conversation going on between competency and confidence this week. And oh, wait, Tony here on Instagram says, seriously, Trump has issues like we all do, but he will unfortunately make you part of his issues and trash you. Is that what you meant? I don't know. I don't know, Tony. I just thought I would have a little fun, aka Jose. So if anybody, has a way to get Trump on here and he wants to talk about the superwoman powers next week, that would be great. But I do welcome the rest of you to hang out with me next week. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys soon. Take care and have a great week. Bye-bye.